Yeah, no, that's a great question. I kind of took a little bit of her crazy from Harley Quinn a little bit.
Mhm.
Someone who kind of thrives off of creating chaos and creating disruption.
Hey everyone, it's David Stark from Watch Your Past. Today I'm joined by co-writer and director Isaac H. Eaton and star Sabrina Haskett of Welcome to Redville, which is coming to digital and on demand on August 29th, 2023. I'm going to talk to them right now, and while you're watching, if you can subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll smile a lot. Thank you. Awesome. So thanks so much for joining me today. I've got co-writer and director Isaac H. Eaton and star Sabrina Haskett of Welcome to Redville, which is coming to digital and on demand on August 29th, 2023. It is a quirky indie crime thriller that has this interesting, bright but sinister tone and some big twists along the way. I'm really excited to talk to you. So thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you.
Of course, of course. So, the first question is going to be for Isaac. What was the inspiration for this story? Did you have just a really bad road trip experience? What made you want to write this film?
Oh man. Okay, so I read there was a story by Daniel DeVoto, and I read it many years ago. I have that project for many years, and it caught my attention when they leave town, when they run out of town and they get stuck and they go back and back to the sign, the Welcome to Redville sign. And it caught my attention and my imagination as far as like a kind of a labyrinth thing, which is always a metaphor for human condition, you know.
Mhm.
So that part really got my attention. So it took me quite a few years. I was working on the script, and there is the main plot, with the robbery and goes wrong, and they're running away from the police. But I always, in my movies, I always like other movies that have other layers in them, that have some kind of a metaphor for life, or different people will read different things into it, and it's a similar, it's a kind of a. I had a movie back then in Sundance called Shadow Hours, and it has similar ending which is cyclical, kind of a circle that people are caught in it, and it's very difficult to integrate this kind of layers into a simple storyline because you don't want to mess with the plot. You want the plot to move on, and the robbery and what happened and the relationship and the police and the sheriff in town and all that. So it took me quite a few years to integrate this kind of subliminal subplot, subliminal messages there when they were talking about him, and he says, I have a big plan, and the guy says, it's a little man with a little plan, it's like kind of
Mhm.
almost a metaphor for life. But again, it's really subliminal, and it's
Mhm.
not like interfering with the story. So that was the origin of this screenplay.
Interesting. And it seems like it took a little bit of time. I noticed that on your IMDb page, there's a big gap between the last thing you wrote and directed and then this movie. So what was it? Have you just been kind of like biding your time? Was there some incident that made you want to get back in that director's seat? Or maybe your IMDb profile is not updated. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is.
I have, yeah, it's perfect answer. I did the last movie I did is with Allison Eastwood, Clint Eastwood daughter, and then I had like three kids, and I really
Mm.
quit, and I raised the kids, and they're in college, and they're doing very well. Actually, my son is finishing his PhD in Harvard
Oh, wow.
at the end of this year. So I really wanted to spend time with the kids, with the family. So and then about 5 years ago, I started getting back into it, and it takes a long time to get independent film going. You know what I mean? So,
Mhm.
so I wrote that. I worked on that script. It's one of the projects I have, and I wrote that script, and it took me a while. And then about 5 years ago, I started, and I got back into it. But it was really a decision to raise a family with kids and all that. So.
Which is a fantastic decision. That is a great choice. I really love that you made that choice. And now that they're all in the nest, now you're an empty nester. Now you want to get back into it. So, uh,
Exactly. Exactly.
Sabrina, you have had a lot of projects recently in the last couple of years. What was it about this film that made you interested, or I guess how'd you get involved in this movie?
Yeah, You know, I read the script and I just really liked the idea of playing a character that is kind of opposite of me in a way. She was really fun and really exciting, and I just loved the role immediately. And so I was so honored to be able to portray her and kind of delve into that kind of seductress side of me, and it was really fun.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I was gonna ask, like, your character kind of feels like a little bit of a chaos element in this whole film. Like, she seems to just whatever like is gonna make the scene more interesting. That's what she wants to do. So I was curious if that was a fun act, a fun character to play, a fun character to kind of like explore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I loved it.
That's awesome. Now, like, did you have, since this was a character that was like so, I don't know, different from you, like, did you do anything to prepare for her? Like, I don't know how you would prepare for her. Maybe just watch movies or I don't know, go to bars and just hang around and see what happens. Like, how did you prepare for this character?
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I kind of took a little bit of her crazy from Harley Quinn a little bit.
Mhm.
Someone who kind of thrives off of creating chaos and creating disruption. And so I definitely kind of took a little bit from there, and also just really delved into that mysterious side of me as well, like keeping people guessing, but also just always choosing the option that's going to be more chaotic for the scene. And so that kind of was the best way for me to access that character and really get into that.
That makes perfect sense. And that sounds like a fun character to kind of like dig into. Like, I know I talk to a lot of actors and they say that, playing someone, usually like a bad guy or a bad person, is more fun because you get to just kind of like let it go and be free. And like you said, you get to choose like something that is going to make the scene more interesting or more crazy. Like that sounds like a fun character to kind of portray.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, some of my other characters have been really deep and really intense, and it's taken a lot of like soul searching. And with this character, it was kind of the opposite. I had to kind of let go of all my like overthinking tendencies and just like go with my instincts and go with what I thought would be like more fun for the character. And especially since I had just gotten married right before filming. And so it was really interesting calling my husband and being like, I'm playing this role and this is so unlike me, but I'm having the best time with it. So it was really fun.
That does sound like a lot of fun. Yeah, very different character than you are. Than it sounds like your personal life.
Yeah.
It seems like this just had a really fun overall cast. It seems like the environment must have made it fun to film. Had you worked with any of these actors before, Sabrina? Or were they all kind of new to the set and you all just kind of like gelled pretty quickly?
Yeah, it was definitely that. I hadn't met any of them beforehand, and it was interesting because it kind of felt like I had when I met them. We all got along so well, and it was such a fun set to be on and a fun environment, and we really just had fun with the project.
That's awesome. And Isaac, sorry to jump in when you're taking a sip. Like, how did you find the rest of this cast, and how did you kind of assemble this group together for this film?
Oh, so it's very interesting because of the whole thing with the pandemic.
Mhm.
We couldn't do like a live interview, live casting. So they all prepared this self tape that now they're going against it. Nobody wants to do self tapes, but that was really helpful to me. That was really I loved it because they go and do different things, and you know how it is in Hollywood. It's in the breakdown, and you have a character, and you have a role, and about like 2,000 people want to go for the role. You know what I mean? So we had like Carrie Barton, which is an incredible casting director that worked with us, and then we narrowed down, and basically they send the tape, and all of a sudden you see something in a character that you never even thought about, and it was wonderful. And when Sabrina went on the screen with the character, I was like blown away, because it's a regular character of femme fatale, right? And most of the characters, if you really think about all the characters in Redville, they're all kind of archetypes, you know what I mean? Sabrina is the femme fatale. You have Chris Elliott is the strongman, the sheriff. The guy who plays in the jewelry store is more of like the priest, but without any religion. So it's all kind of archetypes. And when Sabrina came in with her take on it, and that's what I was looking for. Somebody that it's a femme fatale, but she's like having fun with it. You know what I mean? It's not like she's really bad over there. She's creating chaos, but it's kind of a fun chaos. It's kind of a whimsical thing. And the whimsical thing is really a big part of Redville. and also the music. If you know, it's the music is when I met with Chad Tolliver, the composer, I said I want to go with something like Nino Rota that wrote all the music for Fellini, which was very whimsical, very kind of fun, and then it moves the story right along. So as far as that, back to your question, yeah, they did a lot of self tapes, and I found all of them through that. Most of them. Chris Elliott and Jake Manley were different.
That's awesome. It sounds like it was kind of the perfect setup for you to kind of like get back in, because yeah, all the tapes come to you. You kind of review them, you know, as you're getting back up to speed, and you don't have to like have everyone come in person and do like a grueling day. So that sounds perfect.
Yeah, it worked for me.
And I do love the whimsical tone of this movie. Like, I feel like it does help, you know, kind of make this just feel a little bit more quirky. Like if this was a serious drama, and there are serious dramatic moments, but like the fact that there's this music and these strange situations that happen does help to kind of like keep the mood light, even though you kind of think that something bad is going to happen pretty soon. So I thought that was a nice kind of tone to set.
Thank you. I really appreciate what you're saying, because that's exactly, you know, it was really hard work to do that, you know, because people, you know, even in pre-production, when people read the script, they're looking for to make it like more like, you know, edgy and dangerous and that, and some people didn't get it, but now when the film is finished, people get it, the whole whimsical part of it and the whole humor of it, you know.
And when was this film filmed? Was it, you know, Sabrina, do you remember when was this filmed? Like during the pandemic, just after the pandemic, and in like one of those weird in between spots where we thought we were over COVID and then it comes back? Like, when did this filming actually happen?
Yeah, it happened in late 2021.
Okay.
So yeah, kind of in that middle spot between where we thought maybe we were over it, and then kind of came back, and then so kind of right.
It feels like it's just been a constant roller coaster, right? It feels like we've always thought, oh, we're over it, and then like, oh, not anymore.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I know indie films, you never have enough time. How much time did you have to film this? Sabrina, did you get time to like gel with the cast beforehand, or was this just like an all hands on deck?
No, yeah, it was kind of like as soon as I got there, it was like we're ready and we're going, and I kind of loved that, because especially since our characters aren't really close in the film, it kind of added to that like introduction as well. Like you saw those characters start to meet each other along with filming, and so it kind of worked in a way. And I mean, they're so professional and so great to work with that that really wasn't needed beforehand to be able to approach the scenes and do them like we wanted them and bring them forward. And so it was really just a fun time.
That's awesome. And you mentioned, you know, the characters didn't really like know each other before. Sabrina, were you able to like put your own spin on Lila? Because it feels like maybe you could have, you know, like made her a little bit more crazy in some instances, or maybe like made her a little quirky. Like, were you able to kind of flesh her out in this process?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely was a mix between my take on the character and really wanting to bring forth the character that Isaac had in mind. So making sure that both were stayed true to, and that neither one was like overpowering, so that we were both able to kind of bring the Lila that we felt was the best for the character to life. And so that was really helpful, especially since Isaac has such a specific vision. It really helped me kind of figure out what he was looking for in that character, especially during scenes and filming and things like that. So when she was getting too serious, he was like, let's bring some more fun, some more excitement into it. And when she's having too much fun, let's bring some seriousness to it. So it was really great to have him there to kind of help guide, as well as me bringing what I felt right to the character.
Awesome. And I know we have very limited time. Just a couple really quick kind of lightweight follow-up questions. You can feel free to skip any of these if you want to, but I'm trying to keep this whimsical like the film. So the first question, have either of you ever worked at a bar?
Nope. No.
All right. So that was all acting for you, Sabrina. Next question, have you ever pawned anything?
No.
No. All right. What is the smallest town you've ever stayed in?
Oh boy, I don't even know.
Only big towns for both of you. I love it.
Yeah, I love, you know, most of my life here.
And the last question is, do you own any diamonds?
I do, my wedding ring, but I'm not wearing it right now.
Oh,
unfortunately.
yeah, I'm glad you didn't have to pawn that. I'm glad that the earlier answer was you never pawned anything, so that's perfect. Awesome. Well, the film is out on August 29th, 2023. It's coming digital on demand, so you can check it out in the comfort of your own home. You don't even have to drive anywhere and potentially break down to go see it. This is Isaac H. Eaton, the co-writer and director, and Sabrina Haskett, the star of Welcome to Redville. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, David.
That was Isaac H. Eaton and Sabrina Haskett of Welcome to Redville, which is coming to digital and on demand on August 29th, 2023. It is a quirky crime thriller with kind of like a bright, sinister tone and some interesting twists along the way. If you liked this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. Thank you.